Afternoon folks, I'm back on Dartmoor again. This time I'm doing an overnighter. I was up here for a day walk exactly a week ago, so I thought, well, seeing the weather's not so bad this weekend, I think I'll take opportunity to come out and do an overnight camp and a bit of a walk tomorrow. So I just got to the back of Meldon Reservoir. Some of you may recognise this. Up to the left is Showstone Tor. Off to the right round the corner is Sorting Tor, and I've forgotten the name of that one there. So I'm going to head up the valley again and pitch my shelter. I've done a modification to my Six Moon Designs Gatewood Cape, which I'll show you later, and I got one or two other items I'm trying out at the moment. So I'm going to press on now. I think it's the same as last week. Walking through the valley, and of course there's a cuckoo's going. I've tried to video it, but it just keeps going quiet. But a few minutes ago I was just walking up from down that way, and I got within about 50 metres of this tree. Someone flew across and I sort of stopped, I got binoculars out, looked, and it was a cuckoo. He started cuckooing, and by the time I got the camera out to video it, he buggered off. So a bit of deja vu going on here, I think, and there he is now, flying off in the distance. Alright, I'll get you in a minute. I finally got to the base of Lint's Tor. That's Forden's Ledge up there, and I've just come up from that way. I'm sort of just clearing the area for the minute of the sheep's mess and that, so I can pitch my shelter. Shelter in question again is the Six Moon Designs Gatewood Cape, along with the Serenity net. I'm still using the Osprey Talon 44. I'm finding it quite a good rucksack at the moment for overnighters. So what I'll do, I'll probably either try and film myself pitching this tent, or shelter should I say, or probably film it as I'm doing it in stages. The setup is slightly different. There's a chap on YouTube done a video on how to pitch this one a little bit better. It involves putting line locks on the end of the loops on the shelter, and peg it out a bit further and then raise the height of it so the inner net does not touch the sheet itself, or the fly sheet itself. So like I say, I haven't tried it yet, so it's going to be a bit of an acid test, so I'll probably be here for the next 2.5 hours trying to sort it out, so stay tuned. I've just put out the Serenity net. Normally you do the shelter first and then put the Serenity net inside, but according to the video this chap had done, you pitch the Serenity net first, then put the shelter on the top. As you can see, the yellow cords, I've actually pitched them a bit further away from the shelter. All I've done is a bit of 2mm Dyneema, I think it's English braid, just put a standard overhand loop, attach it to the mitten hook, a normal slip knot there. You can adjust it, just loosen up this line and repass it through, then pull it tight. I pegged it in with a Y peg on this corner, that corner, in the front and on the back. The front one will be used for the shelter, but for the time being I've just pegged out the front of the net with it. And talking about that, with mine here I've used a little bit of elastic loop. The idea of that is to slip the top of my walking pole through to stop it from sliding around. I used to put a peg through this, but with it being a new pole I'm not going to. One other thing I've done as well, I've got the 4 alloy pegs out, but on the back corners I'm just using the standard titanium pegs. I've only got the 4 alloy ones. I'm just going to retighten this out a little bit better, so it doesn't quite look straight to me, but then I'll put the shelter over the top of it and do a bit more video on that. I've now put the shelter on top of the net and threaded through the lines through the line lock 3s is the name I could remember. All I've done is I've used the original cord that came with the shelter, then put like just like a double loop, forgot the name of the knot now, round through it. The Dyneema you see there is what I've added in the past, so I can extend it out a bit further than what the lines were originally came with the shelter. One of my corners never came with one, so I've had to add on a piece. So rather than cut through the tabs and sew them back, I've just attached it with a bit of cord. But as you can see now, it's a bit further out All I've done now is adjusted my pole. My pole's about 135 centimetres, which is what, 52 inches, something like that, 52 inches. So you can extend the height of the pole. And obviously with the Malecki pole, it's got the twist locks. So if I have to make an adjustment, it'll be a lot easier. So let's crack on with this and see what happens. Well, it took me a bit longer than I thought. What you're looking at there is currently my second pitch. My first one, it just didn't look right at all. I think the main reason was because my pole was too high. I think I had it set around 52, 53 inches. Not even that. And all I've done is I've dropped my pole down about 3 inches, but when I've done it, my pole was vertical. You should have your pole, I don't know if you can quite see it there now, but my pole is just slightly angled. But what I've done, I mean, I got it up, looking at it, even with the first pitch it looked good, but this second one is looking a hell of a lot good. It's tight as anything. I mean, I've only just done it so Soon Island will relax after a while, but the back of it, I mean, that is, crikey, you can almost play a set of drums with this. The good thing about it is because on that side and that side you have a loop for an extra line to come out if you need it, but you don't need it at all, not with this one. You can see it's looking pretty tight. What I'll do later on is I'll just go around and just pull them tight. Getting them, my worry was I was trying to get these parallel more or less. This one here was a complete problem, but mainly because I had a stone underneath. The other thing I had to do was melt the ends where I cut them the other day. As I'm trying to thread them through the line lock 3s, it wasn't going through, so I've had to melt all 5 of them. But looking at that now, that is pretty tight. And that damn bloody cuckoo's going in the background again. One problem I did have was the net. When I set the net up, I set it a bit too high and it was lifting the net off from the back. And that's all because what I've got here, I tied a piece of Dyneema to the original loop, which is at the back. Then I just put a series of knots through the loop and I hooked it onto the bottom one. I may be able to get away with bringing this one up a knot higher. It's only like an inch or so above. But I mean, the space it now does, I mean, there's no way that net is going to touch that shelter. There's a hell of a gap, even up that end. It's probably because I've loosened that end off, so I may be able to pull that one out a bit further, but I'll just loop it around, just loop the rest of the cord around the peg. But apart from that, it's looking good. It's probably the best pitch I've done for a while, but as I was saying, damn flies, the loop of shot cord just holding the pole. I've just lowered my pole down again. Don't worry about the numbers of height because I've got it set definitely above, but it should be leaning backwards anyway. But apart from that, yeah, it's looking pretty good now. I've just put my molding mat in there. I'm just letting it inflate before putting my sleeping bag in. I'll just quickly show you some of the other stuff I've brought with me. I've revamped some of my gear recently, mainly because the biggest reason being is the 3 dry bags, the blue, red and the yellow. The blue one's got my sleeping bag in. The reason why I'm now using this was that the last time, or was it the time before I was up here camping, I got caught in a heavy shower, and when I got home I took my sleeping bag out. It was, a third of it was just soaking wet. It was in its original compression bag inside a bin liner. The bin liner showed no signs of any leak, no splits or anything, so I don't know how it all got wet. So I was advised to use a dry bag, which is what I've done there. The other two, the red one holds a fleece jumper in it. My other one's got spare socks, long sleeve t-shirt and a short sleeve t-shirt. So that's some of the new kit I'm using apart from the trekking pole. The other gear I got, obviously map and compass, the combat camera case. I've got my drinks bag, which has got tea bags in, there's milk powder, I've got sugar, Kool-Aid sachets or fruit drink sachets, drinking chocolate, there's pepper, coffee. I don't know why I got coffee because I don't drink coffee. So that's that. My phone I keep in a lock sack. My glasses, gas can is a larger one I usually use, but I've got a couple of these at home which are like half used, part used, so I'm now just going to use them up. G-clamp tripod, compact binoculars. In this Ziploc bag is a mini flask of whiskey. It's got to be done on this occasion. It's grouse. Then I got my food, tea. In a minute I'm going to have a good old Cornish pasty, can't beat it. And in my bag here, which isn't very big, I've got a Mountain House breakfast meal. I think it's ham, egg and potato or something. I got a pack of ramen noodles, a couple of Mars bars, couple Tracker stroke medley cereal grain bars, some Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bars, and a pack of sweets. My pot, which is a Toaks 750ml mug. Inside that's my gas burner. I've also got my pocket stove and some hexi blocks, and I've also got a Toaks alcohol siphon stove, which I'll show you later on. I brought some mess with me. That was a recent addition. It seemed to have done all right, so I thought I'd give it a try. As for the rucksack, still the Osprey Talon 44. Top pocket, I keep my waterproof coat, my waterproof trousers in, my spoons in there, my folding mug and my torch. My gaiters, which I'm just drying off for a minute, I'll go in there later on. Under the lid, in the lid pocket, is other essentials. First aid kit, it's quite a size. I'd rather bring a large first aid kit and not use it than have a tiny one. I think, oh, I wish I brought this, I wish I brought that. The other thing's toilet paper. Don't really use it that often, not on the moors anyway. And the other thing is a small hygiene kit, which is like a toothbrush. I've got a mirror because I seem to get crap in my eyes all the time. I've got hand sanitizer and a little piece of soap in there. Nothing else in the bag. Front pocket, I've got my Sawyer and my meths. Side pocket is a water bottle, which is just a normal Coke bottle. I've got two of them. As I stated in my last video, yes, I do use Nalgene's. I used it on the last trip. It's just that ever so often I will use these instead of Nalgene. Front pocket, I've got a Leatherman, then I've got sunblock, insect repellent, and a spare lighter for the stove. That's basically my kit, apart from what I'm wearing. The other thing I keep with me is like my headphones. I've also got a pocket radio in there somewhere. I carry spare battery for my phone and headphones for my phone. That is really about it. Right, I'm going to crack on and have some tea, I think. You can't beat it. Wild camping on Dartmoor, scoffing a good old pasty and washing it down with a mug of tea with a bit of whiskey. Bloody proper. Right, good morning. It's just gone 7:30. Weather-wise, yeah, it's a little bit cloudy, it's a bit misty. I've been listening to the radio, they said maybe they'll thunderstorm today. As for the shelter, yeah, that seems to have done well. It's still tight around the back of it. Inside, you can see there's quite a gap. You have to excuse the radio going there. There's a gap all the way around. I've got no condensation on the net shelter itself. There's very little condensation on the inside, so having it the extra height does give it the extra airflow. I slept alright, a bit of a bad back, but that's my fault for twisting around too much. So yeah, I'm impressed with the shelter at the moment, especially this form of pitching, and I think this is the way to go for it. Just to raise it, you know, peg it out further, and then raise the pole up a little bit higher. But this is going to be an ongoing thing, I think. I'm going to have to practice for this a bit more. Well, that's the pocket stove, and inside it's the Toaks siphon alcohol stove. I've got about almost 30 mils of meths in there, so I'm just going to light it and put my pot on top, and I'll just show you what it looks like when it's burning. You can see there the flames are kind of going to the middle, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to chuck my pot on top so I don't want to waste too much fuel. That's my bag just about packed. I've only got like water to do and put my gaiters on and just sort my bag of rubbish out. The shoulder is still tight as anything, but it should be easier to unpack now because it's easier to pack away the shoulder than the net. If anybody asks, the orange bag is just a normal trash bag, bin bag, whatever. I only use it to aid to kneel down on from the outside, so I don't kneel in the mud and the shit and the damp, and the other side I use to put my rucksack on during the night. It doesn't go under the shelter. I've never seen the need for that because it's waterproof enough. Mind you though, if it is really waterlogged up here, and then I probably would bring another one anyway. Alright, let's crack on again. That's my quick break over here, just had a quick drink. It was my intention to walk along the track and go back up to Hangingstone Hill, same as what I did last week, then cut across to Wild Tor. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to head straight on up to Steeperton Tor. The reason why is that from what I understand and from what I found out recently, there was a B-24 Liberator crash there as well during the Second World War. I've walked past her a couple of times. I've never seen any sign of any wreckage or anything. I think it was all taken away, but I only just found this out recently, roughly where it was to us in terms of grid references. So I'm going to head over there now and have a quick look and probably film something if anything's there. Finally I got to Steeperton Tor. I've got plenty of time now, so I'm going to stop here, do myself some lunch, have a good old cup of tea, then take it from there. I ain't quite decided where to go yet, but I've got at least another 5 hours. So I think what I might do is after I have my lunch, I might just drop down in the valley, have a look around, then walk up to Oak Tor, and then just make my way back, but just take my time. I'm not rushing it this week. Right, priorities first, cup of tea. I'm nearly at the observation post now. This will probably be the last bit of filming I'll be doing. So I'll just give you one last view of Dartmoor, as if you need to see any more of that. Please feel free to give me a thumbs up or even a thumbs down, I don't mind. If you've got any comments, please leave them in the comments box, or if you've got a question, same thing. So I'd just like to say thanks for watching, all the best, and I'll catch you all again soon. Cheers.